And then there's another move called the advanced melee attack. This is probably one of my favorites because it's very effective and very sneaky. Basically, you just run right into the guy. Hold down the X button when you transform, and then you'll transform into a crazy powerful hit that will do massive damage to your opponent. And then there's the final move, which for some reason isn't as powerful as the advanced melee attack, although you think it is because it looks more powerful. It's called the ground pounder. Basically, what you do is you hold the B button when you transform, and then you'll pound on the ground and create a huge shockwave that will knock back all your enemies around you. Although I rarely use this move because I guess really I would only use it if I was surrounded. So yeah. And also, you can technically also do something similar to the ground pound when you're in the air by holding the attack button down. However, this isn't as powerful or as wide range as the actual ground pound itself. So yeah, controls are a bit odd to get used to, but they are actually pretty fun to master. For land, we're talking about them. But then let's get to the flying controls. This is where things get interesting. The flying controls are really the main beef I have with the game. Because, for starters, okay, one cool thing about the flying controls is that you can transform since you can't do the transform jump because you're a flying vehicle. Instead, you transform into robot mode, and you can actually hover in the air in your robot mode and shoot, which gives you a tactical advantage because you can shoot people with your regular weapons, which is good because the majority of the time vehicle weapons are weaker than robot mode weapons. So yeah, that's a pretty cool advantage. But the problems are that flying is horrendously annoying to control, combined with the fact that it seems to be slower than most land vehicles. What the f***? It even says in their stats that flying characters have the highest speed level. However, no, it doesn't seem to work here. Instead, you're slower, which is kind of crap. I mean, in the previous game, flying vehicles were insanely fast. It was really fun to fly around with them. Talk about a role reversal. So yeah. Then you got But then you got to combine with the fact that flying characters somehow are ridiculously slow on their feet. In fact, Optimus seems to. In fact, when Optimus combines with Jetfire to form Super Count the Motherfucking Prime, he actually seems slower when running than he does when he's regular Optimus Prime. Although it says that he's the fastest character in the game. Although he might be one of the few. Although he actually is kind of fast. In fact, he might be one of the only fast characters in the whole game. So yeah. Okay, now that these controls ruined Deep 6 because it was very tedious, very annoying, and it wasn't very fun. The impression I got from Deep 6 is that I was going to be playing as Breakaway and fighting a bunch of Decepticons, fighting just a bunch of Decepticon bosses at once, and then in the end to tackle Megatron. That was the impression I was getting, but no, none of that. And even with Starscream, it wasn't that much fun. You get to destroy stuff, but it still seemed bland and empty. That isn't helped by the quiet music that keeps things being epic. I think so. Yeah. Another thing you have is your special ability, which varies from player to player. It varies from character to character. Some characters have both have special abilities, like you have Overhaul and Ratchet, who both have healing ability. Although their weapon layouts are completely different, and they have different strengths and weaknesses completely. But still. But there's some others, like Optimus Prime has the Valiant Leader mode, which no one else has, and Megatron has the Deadly Fusion Cannon that no one else has. The controls are a little difficult to get used to at first, but they're pretty good. So, but the flying controls kind of tackle them then. So, unfortunately, I'm gonna give those controls a 6.7 out of 10.
So disappointing.
The sound effects in this game are better than the ones in the first one. However, some of them still could be better. They still don't feel as transformery as they should, but they're better. And the music in this game, well, there's not much volume. The music's volume is so low, you really can't understand. You really can't even tell sometimes if there is music. Other times you can, but It seems also that they stuck in a lot of previous soundtracks from the previous game, and that's a bad thing because I didn't like the music in that game. So that's not good. I also don't understand why they don't just use some official soundtracks from the movie, particularly the forest fight song. Because to be honest, I could so see that song being put right at the end of the final boss. I could just that would fit so well, but instead we don't. And as for the voice acting, well, some voice actors are good. We got Peter Cullen doing Optimus Prime. You got Frank Welker doing Megatron, although he did better with Megatron in the previous game, as now he sounds, well, too much like he's trying to be, yeah, like he's trying to be Galvatron. The very first lines of dialogue you hear from him are rather annoying. And also, if you compare some of the redos of some dialogue lines from the actual movie, you'll see that he doesn't do as good a job. But more notably, the other characters are although they actually improved Ratchet's voice in this one, they gave the stupid idea of giving Bumblebee a voice, which they should never. He talked to the radio, not with his voice. Also, Starscream's voice is one of the most annoying voices in this game. Be warned, it is not fitting at all. Also, but the most notable thing to point out for the voice would be Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox. Just be glad that we don't have many of scenes with them. Mainly Megan Fox, because she is. No offense, Megan, but you had a terrible performance. You sounded like you were bored. You're not supposed to sound f***ing bored in serious dialogue lines. So yeah. And Shia LaBeouf, he's actually probably one of the best human voice actors in the game, however. But he doesn't. Just as long as he's not doing as long as he's not talking in a serious tone. For the comical perspectives that Shia has to do in the movie, just like Shia has in the movie, he does a pretty good job. So yeah. Sometimes dialogue that's being discussed, sometimes the volume will suddenly be lower. Like for example, Ratchet might be talking and then the volume is so low, it's like you need to turn it up to hear what's going on, and then suddenly the next person that talks is so loud you gotta turn the fucking thing back down. What is that about? I don't get it. However, I'm gonna say that sound has its ups and downs, so I'm gonna give it a 7.0 average. Overall, Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen has brought back some of the good that was lost in that piece of previous game, and now we have a good Transformers game again. But it is not the best Transformers game we've ever had, and it could use some improvement. But it is definitely better than the previous one, and therefore it's actually fun to play. So it's a fairly decent game, and I'm proud to give it a 7.6 out of 10.